Alright guys, kicking on with Hawker's Hamburgers, part 2, where we're going to go through the journals, the ledger, and also the balance sheet. Alright, so let's, without further ado, crack on. So, burger, delivery. Oh my goodness. Okay, so our first, we're going back to our task here. Oh, not that one. Alright, so on the 1st of November 2012, Hawker's Hamburgers purchased a vehicle on credit for $22,000. Okay, we've got all of that detail in our depreciation schedules. Let's get myself sorted here. Oh. Alright, let's go. So, 1st of November 12, we've got motor vehicles, GST credits received, and we bought it on credit from Hawker's Hamburgers. Oh my goodness. Bear with me here for a minute. Hatcher Motors. I'm trying to rush it, as I'm sure you will be doing in the exam as well. So this vehicle was $22,000 including GST. So the gross amount of the transaction that we owe Hawker's Hatcher Motors is $22,000. So in our GST credits received, we can do 22,000 divide 11, gives us our GST. And our motor vehicles account will be 22 minus the 2. Well, okay. Bought vehicle. We bought $909 HMD on that an underline. Okay. 1st of November, we've also air conditioning. Okay, and the air conditioning being capital expenditure goes into the motor vehicles account. Fix up that formatting there. GST credits received. And this was paid for by check, so cash at bank. Gross amount that we paid was $1,100, therefore GST equals $1,100 on 11, and motor vehicles equals that minus that. Air conditioning on 909 HMD, paid with cash. Okay, formatting on this cell is rubbish, so we right click, format cells. What do we want? Alignment. We want to unwrap text, and then we want to get rid of the indent. Okay, next one, we've also paid for insurance, the annual insurance. I'll give that an underline. Insurance, happy for you to put it into a motor vehicle expenses account. If you called it insurance, that would be fine as well. GST credits received, get rid of the indent, and we paid for that with a check, so that's cash at bank as well. Gross amount of the transaction, $825, including GST. GST is $825 divided 11. Motor vehicle expenses, therefore, $825 minus $75. Annual insurance on HMD, paid by check. Aircon was actually paid by check as well. Let's fix that up. Alright, so that's everything to do with the first vehicle, with the purchase of 999 HMD. And before we get to doing depreciation at 30th of June, we bought 555 HRE. And we bought that on the 1st of January. 1st of Jan 13. Okay, so motor vehicles. Motor vehicles, GST credits received. Oh, goodness. And we bought this on credit as well from Motors. Gross amount of the transaction. Okay, this one's a little bit different. This is 24,000 plus GST, so we can go to the motor vehicle account. 24,000 plus GST, so equals 24,000 times 0.1 to arrive at that figure. And so our gross amount, therefore, is 24 plus 2,400. So we purchased 555 HRE from Motors on credit. Get rid of the word wrapper here. You could leave it. Okay, so that's the purchase of the vehicle. Insurance cover for this vehicle was 800 plus GST. So on the same date as well, so we're going to do motor vehicle expenses. And this is 800 plus GST, so gross net amount 800, GST credits received equals that times 0.1, and we paid by check, so cash at bank. And I know we can do these sums in our heads, but there we go, just doing that. Paid annual insurance on 555 HRE using check. Alrighty, and so there was no other transactions in relation to 555 HRE, and that would be it. Next transaction is depreciation on the 30th of June 2013, so 30 June 13, depreciation on motor vehicles. We'll go to our summary, and so our depreciation as at 30th of June 2013 is that 6,500 equals 6,500. Just abbreviate accumulated depreciation because you're going to be writing it a few times, so we'll try and cut down on it. And that equals 6,500. Depreciation for the 2013 year. Alright, underline that. Now, vehicles remain unchanged during 2014, and we don't, during the 2014 financial year, nothing happens to our vehicles. So, the next transaction then would be 30th of June 2014. Now, just cutting down on time in the exam, copy, paste, change that to 2014, and equals, let's come over and get, come on, 9625. 9625, yep. And then our credit will equal that as well. And there's our depreciation for the 2014 year. Okay, so then our next transactions will be 555 HRE having an accident on the 31st of October. Okay, so 31 October 14, and this is where our procedure kicks in. Okay, so complete asset details in the PPE extracts and depreciate assets. So we've done that. Combine all assets into depreciation summary sheet. Done that. General journal entries to account for the purchase of the assets as well as any capital and revenue expenditure. Okay, so we've done that for the first two vehicles. General journals for total depreciation at the end of each applicable financial year. So we've done that for 2013 and 2014. And now we're going to start accounting for the disposal of 555 HRE. So first step, account for the disposal, depreciate the asset up to the date of sale. Then transfer the cost of the asset, then transfer its accumulated depreciation. Okay, so depreciation of motor vehicles, I'm going to copy and paste that. I'm not going to copy the narration because our narration is going to be much different. Okay, so this is 555 HRE. Our depreciation on motor vehicles needs to be this figure here. Get rid of the decimals, we're just using whole numbers here, and then equals, just using my arrow keys to get up there. And we're going to depreciate 555 HRE to date of disposal. Okay, so we've done the depreciation. So then our next step, okay, so we've done this one here. Transfer the cost of the asset into the disposal account. So same date, 31st of October. Here's our cost of our vehicle. It's in the asset account, which is a debit. So in order to get it out of the asset account, we need to credit the asset account and debit disposal of motor vehicles for its full cost of $24,000. Okay, and that's transfer cost of HRE to the disposal account. Next step, transfer the accumulated depreciation on the asset being sold to the disposal account. Okay, so accumulated depreciation is a credit, naturally. Okay, so in order to get it out of the accumulated depreciation account, we need to debit accumulated depreciation and credit the disposal account. So accumulated depreciation of motor vehicles, and the amount for 555 HRE is going to be this figure here. And we want to credit the disposal account. And we're going to get rid of, we'll just go equals that, highlight these two cells here, and get rid of the decimals. Transfer accumulated depreciation on 555 HRE to the disposal account. Okay, and so we've done this one here. General journal to account for the trade-in value. Well, we're not getting a trade-in on this one here. We're getting receiving cash. So it's going to be debit, cash at bank, credit GST collected, credit disposal of the motor vehicle. Okay, so no trade in this one. So it's going to be cash at bank. And the question says, we sold it, third paragraph, we sold it for 14,000 plus GST to Strang Scrap Metal for cash. Okay, so it's going to be debit cash at bank, credit GST collected, and credit disposal of motor vehicle. So it's the net amount of the transaction, so it's 14,000 plus GST. So we can put 14,000 in there, and then our GST equals 14,000 times 0.1 to figure out the 10% that we need to add on. And so the gross amount of the transaction is 14,000 plus 1,400. So record sale of 555 HRE to for cash. We won't worry about putting Strang Scrap Metal in there. Okie dokie. Well, it's at this point here that we'll want to start posting to the ledger. So I'm going to get my journals over there, get my ledger off to the right. It's really in the wrong order. I'm going to drag my ledger over there. Okay, so business name at the top of our ledger. Hamburgers. Hamburger delivery. Okay, so our question says 3 accounts, so it's our motor vehicles, accumulated, and disposal. Alright, so because we're only journaling to these 3, as I said previously in the tutorial, we're not posting to every single account, so our ledger, there's no point putting a total at the bottom of our debit and credit columns because it's not going to balance. We're only posting select entries. So probably the best thing to do first of all would be to run down the list and just highlight for your own benefit which ones we're going to be posting to. Anything that involves motor vehicles or accumulated depreciation or disposal. So just that one, this one here, no, this one here, no. Okay, accumulated depreciation, we're going to post that one. Accumulated depreciation, we're going to post that one. And this one. And pretty much everything from these ones here. That. And this will help us get down to figure out our gain or loss on sale. Alright, so let's start at the top. Motor vehicle account. 1st of November. November 12. Okay, we're sending $20,000 debit to the motor vehicle account with particulars of Hatcher Motors. So, Hatcher Motors. $20,000 debit, balance 20,000, debit. Okay, I'm just going to color code that as I go so that I know that I've done it. Okay, and then same date, $1,000 debit to the motor vehicle account with particulars of cash at bank. So cash at bank. And we're adding a debit to a debit, so equals 20,000 plus 1,000. Debit. Done. Okay, motor vehicles 24,000 on the 1st of Jan 13. Particulars again of Hatcher Motors. And we're sending $24,000 debit to this account. Adding a debit to a debit, so equals 21 plus 24. Done. Okay. Now it's to accumulated depreciation, 30th of June 2013. 6,500 credit to accumulated depreciation with depreciation on motor vehicles as our particulars. $6,500 credit. Okay, same again, 30th of June 2014. Autofills, tab across, 9625 we're putting in here, 9625. Adding a credit to a credit, so equals 6,500 plus 9625 credit. Done. Alright, accumulated depreciation of motor vehicles again up until the date of disposal. So this is 31st of October 14. Depreciation on motor vehicles. Credit 1313. Adding a credit to a credit. So add those together. Credit. Okay, disposal of motor vehicles, debit. So our date here, 31st of October 14. Particulars here, so we're sending $24,000 debit to the disposal account with particulars of motor vehicles. 24,000 debit, balance 24,000 debit. I probably really should have gone equals that. Okay, that's done. Motor vehicles account, 31st of October 14. Motor vehicles account, 24,000 credit with particulars of disposal. Okay, so we're taking a credit away from a debit, so equals 45 minus 24. Still a debit balance though, it's still positive. We still have motor vehicles in our possession, so it's still a debit motor vehicles balance. Okay, moving on. Accumulated depreciation, same date. So we're sending 9563 debit to accumulated depreciation account with particulars of disposal. So So we're taking a debit away from the credit, so equals that minus 95, but it's still a positive accumulated depreciation balance, so it's still a credit. And then the credit to the disposal account, same date, particulars being accumulated depreciation. Okay, 9563. So taking a credit away from the debit, so 24 minus 9563, it's still a debit balance. Okay, and then so then disposal of motor vehicle credit, so 14,000 credit to the disposal account, with particulars being cash at bank. And so we're taking a credit away from the debit, so equals 14,437 minus 14 gives us 437, still a debit balance. So with the debit balance still in the disposal account, we've achieved a loss on the disposal. And one way maybe to go and check that, okay, is that we can see that the diminished balance of the vehicle here, we could go off to the side and go sale price 14,000 less written down value, diminished balance, equals that. So equals, and we can clearly see this before we do the sums, okay, but we're just confirming across our records that our records are marrying up as we go through. Okay, so this is a loss on sale, so we need to do the journal entry. So if this is a debit balance, in order to clear the disposal account, we need to credit it. So we need to debit loss on sale of motor vehicle, 437, and we want to credit the disposal. Account 437. Record loss on sale of 555 HRE. Okay, we'll post this journal entry to the ledger just quickly. So 437 credit, and our particulars are loss on sale. $437, so our balance becomes 0. Alright, so that one's done. Okay, so that's the disposal of the vehicle taken care of. However, we've still got to account for the purchase of the new vehicle. So we've essentially still got to do all of these things here and account for the depreciation up until 30th of June 2015. Okay, so quickly we'll go and underline that. Okay, so our question continues. 1st of November 14, we've bought the new motor vehicle 777HXP. How about I get it over here? 777HXP for $29,000. So we want motor vehicles. 29,000. Oh, hang on. Yeah, 29,000 plus GST. GST credits received. Oh, come on. So it's plus GST 29 times 0.1, and we paid for this, purchased for cash. So cash at bank equals 29 plus 2,900. So we purchased 777 HXP cash. Underline that. Okay, same date. Firm paid 550 including GST. Now 550, as I said earlier, it's not an improvement to the asset, it's not going to extend its useful life, and it's not any kind of upgrade, it's advertising. Okay, so we'll put this to the advertising account. GST credits received because we're buying something, and we're getting GST credits, and we've paid for this with cash as well, cash at bank, and it was 550 including GST. So the gross amount of the transaction is 550. GST therefore is the gross amount divided 11. Advertising is 550 minus the GST. And so we put paid cash for signage on 777 HXP. Okay, so that's that, and then we've paid $9.90 for annual insurance cover. Okay, same date. Motor vehicle expenses. And this was $9.90 including GST. So GST credits received. And we paid with check, so cash and bank. Gross amount of the transaction, $9.90. GST equals gross amount divided 11. Motor vehicle expenses, $9.90 minus 90. Paid for annual insurance for 777. Check. Alrighty, so that's everything to do with the purchase of that vehicle. One last journal entry. Okay, 30th of June, 15. If you don't want to type, oh, it's got the colours in it. Let's get rid of that colour. Change this to 2015. Okay, and our summary, our depreciation. Now just be careful here, because we've already posted our depreciation on HRE. So we just want depreciation on these two here at the end of the year, because we no longer own HRE and we've already posted this ledger up to date of sale. So our depreciation equals that plus that. Okay, 5881 equals that figure there. Alright, that's every single journal entry that you need to do. Now, I'll give you the tip for those that have made it this far into the video. Fairly certain in the exam you don't have to do that many journal entries. Okay, there'll probably be there'll be 3 vehicles, but you won't have to do so many of these journal entries here, the revenue expenditure journal entries. There'll probably be one of those and one of those, and then, but you won't have to do it here, and then you won't have to do it again twice down here. Okay, they're not in there, so you'll have to do less journal entries from that perspective. Alright, these journal entries, we still need to post the relevant ones to the ledger. So we need to post this one here. Where are we? Just that one, and then just this one. So motor vehicles, 1st of November, 14. Particulars here, cash at bank, and it's 29,000. So adding a debit to a debit equals 21 plus 29, $50,000 debit. Done, and accumulated depreciation, 30 June 15. Particulars, depreciation of motor vehicles, credit, 5881, adding a credit to a credit, 13756. That's done. Alright. Now, as I've said in previously, we're not dealing with these here, so let's get rid of them. Let's get our ledger over to the side here. Give our business a name. Walker's hamburger delivery. As I've said previously, okay, I'm going through this step, but for the 2018 exam, I'm trying to cut down on what you need to do in your exam, so you no longer need to do this step. Alright, so you may choose to stop watching here. That's your choice. I might drop another couple of hints before the exam's over. We'll just see what comes out as we continue on. But yeah, I've chopped this off the exam now, just to give you guys the optimum chance to finish the exam. Okay, let's start with 2013. Let's get over here. 30th of June 2013 on motor vehicles. 30th of June 2013 would fall in between these two dates here. So therefore, this is our closing balance. Okay, so equals accumulated depreciation, 30th of June 2013. Is this balance here. Subtotal equals 45 minus 6.5. Underlines here. 2014. Okay, 2014 in our motor vehicles account, 30 June would be in between these two here as well. So this here is still our closing balance, and our accumulated depreciation, 30 June 2014, is here. So therefore, 45 minus 16, 28,875, and 2015 is after this one here. So this is our balance. 30th of June 2015 is here. Equals 50 minus 13, 36,244. Okay. Was there anything else I needed to add? Okay, so now we're done. We're ready to print. Okay. Before you print, make sure that everything has your name on it. Okay, so there will be headers on your exam template, and I'll take you through that before you start the exam. Now, one other thing that I've said is that we are assessing, well, just one quick thing as well, is that if you wanted to double check, well, we're not doing this step anyway. 2013, 2014, okay, 45, 45, 2015 is 50, okay, and accumulated depreciation, 13,756, 16,125, and 6,500, okay, so this should marry up with your ledger and also marry up with your summary. Alright, back to where I was. So I want you to print everything. So in order to print everything easily, you can just go right click, select all sheets. Okay, right click, select all sheets. Then you can go file print, and we'll have all 7 pages. Okay. Beyond that, what I want you to do is print these in formula mode. Okay, I wanted to see that you're using formulas in all the right places. So in each of these depreciation tabs, I want to see that you have done your formulas. So change it to formula view and then print that. So you probably do all 3 of them in formula view right at the end. Just double click the top to autofill so everything fits to the page. Okay, so we've got all 3 of these in formula view. So what we can do is just go Control. Okay, so that's how we're going to select each one of these sheets. Okay, so if we've got this one here, hold down the Control key, select select File, Print, and that will print those in Formula View. And then when we go Unformula View, it's all looking dodgy. And one thing to note there is that what you could have done beforehand, what we could have done is select all three sheets, show formulas, and that will do all three of them at the same time in Formula View. I mean, you probably, do we need to? No, we don't need to play around with the formatting. It's just, I shrink them down because it's probably going to be, it'll enlarge the text and make it easier on my eyes when I mark them. But you don't need to go and double click the top of all of these because time will be of the essence. But you can do this right at the end of your exam. You don't need to worry about necessarily printing within the allotted time limit. Okay, you can, let's just say you get to the end of the 2 hours. Okay, you can printing part of the end of the exam after 2 hours. Okay, so I don't think you've got to fit all of this into the 2 hours. Okay, just make sure when you do print in Formula View, make sure that I can actually see all of the formulas. Okay, that's it. I'm going to shut up now. That's it completed. I'll email the spreadsheet to you and you can use it as you see fit. Over and out.